Hello folks, with me today is my daughter Caitlin, and today I'm going to teach her and you how to make strawberry jam. So let's get started. You will need some equipment, and you will need a hot water bath canner, which will look just like this. And it comes with a can rack. You're going to need a stock pot. And then you're going to need a canning kit, which comes with a magnet for the lids, a jar grabber, a funnel, and a doohickey thing right here to sterilize your lids and your jar rings. Now folks, jars will be a must, and I suggest if you buy any other jar than Ball and Ball lids, they're probably made in China. So make sure and check where your lids and jars were made. I would suggest nothing made outside this country. You will need a big stainless steel bowl to hold all of your cut strawberries. You're also going to need a potato masher and a couple ladles to ladle the hot jam into the jars. And the last things you will need will be lemon juice and sugar, a 1 cup measuring cup, and that right there is a tomato core, but it also takes the greens off the strawberries. You get a lot more strawberry left on the berry using that as opposed to a paring knife. And of course, you will need your strawberries. The wife went grocery shopping the other day. They had 2-pound packages that came from California, and she grabbed a bunch of them. We do have our own strawberry plants, but they are just in bloom. So we do take advantage of the sales, and especially if the fruit or product come from this country. And you can't go wrong with California strawberries. So now you're ready to get your strawberries washed. So you sanitize your kitchen sink. You dump your strawberries in the sink with the top still on them. If you wash your strawberries after you cut the tops off, the water will suck the flavor right out of your strawberries. Now you don't have to be that gentle with the berries because you're getting ready to cook them down and smash them. Nice catch. So all you have to do is just dump them all in the sink. And of course you don't have to do 16 pounds like we are, obviously. I'll post the recipe in there that's for 2 quarts. Okay, Caitlin, now that we have the strawberries washed, all in the sink here, this tomato core is amazing. Works like that, and you just turn it. Slices it right out. Get a strawberry like that, little bit of green, don't worry about it. They're all going to be cooked down. Yay. Preferably don't throw your tops in with your strawberries. I'm going to turn this over to Caitlin and let her do it. If you don't have a helper like I do today, you'd want to start your water and you sanitize your jars before you slice your strawberries. So you just take it like this, and you slide it down here in the hot water, and this is how you sterilize your jars. All right, folks, here we are, the last strawberry. Now we got all 16 pounds of our strawberries destemmed and cored. Now we're going to put them in the stock pot, add the sugar, add the lemon juice, and cook it to 9 degrees above boiling point, which would be 212 plus 9. Now folks, if your pan looks like this, and that is a 3-gallon stock pot, you have to pull half out and do 2 batches. So now you want enough room in your pan because the strawberries will cook down. We split it in 2, so we'll do 2 batches. Now when we go to add the sugar in, this batch would call for 18 cups of sugar. Now, I am not putting 18 cups of sugar in that. I will put half of that in there. We're not even going to put half. We're going to put 8 cups of sugar in there. Now that we got our sugar and our lemon juice in there, turn the heat on, start stirring and mashing. Now after you got all that in there, your sugar, your lemon, and your strawberry juice, I don't personally cut mine. I let it cook down. It does take a little bit to stir it up, but as soon as the heat hits it, she starts to turn, as you can see right there. Now, you guys are going to follow the recipe on this. I'll post the one for the 8 quarts, not 16 pounds. We won't have to buy strawberry jam for about a year. So you get it all down. And you'll notice you do this a lot. You'll make adjustments. You won't need the recipe. You'll find out which mix works best for you, brings out the best flavor of the fruit, the characteristics of it. I personally don't care for all the sugar in it, but it does need it. But it doesn't need all of it. And you can pretty much half it. Just as long as you get it, boil it to the gel stage, which is 9 degrees over 212, which would be boiling. Now, if you're up in the mountains in your elevation, it also depends on your elevation. So if you're up in the mountains, you're going to have to look. There's a chart. You can get it online, and you'll have to adjust for the elevation. But she's already starting to come together, and it's just started to get the heat on it. Now, this is probably going to take 45 minutes to an hour to get to where it needs to be. So I won't bore you with that. We'll do the magic of film and fast forward. Okay, folks, now it's only been like 10 minutes, and it's already boiling. And look at that. There's no water. All that is liquefied sugar and strawberry juice. And she's already up. You see the strawberries are still whole. They're going to get to be about like that. It's going to boil and boil for a bit. You see the foam that comes up on top? This needs scraped off. All this foam. It looks tasty. You can taste it if you want to, but you're going to want to scrape it off and throw it away. And you're going to want to do this until it gets clear like that right there. Kind of look like strawberry puree. All the white comes off. So I turned the spoon and the masher over to Caitlin. She's going to do some skimming. And now she's going to smash some of them whole strawberries in there with the potato smasher. And if you want less mess, put your spoons on the plate. So you just go around and smash the strawberries down. You're doing a fine job, Caitlin. And now you're going to let it boil until it reaches that gel point. Now it will get slightly darker, just a little bit, the closer it gets to the gel stage. That would be 218 to 222 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're almost there. We're waiting for it to boil up. You do want to constantly stir this and check it, or you can caramelize the sugar on the bottom. And I did just that a little bit. I've already got it scraped off, but it just tastes like caramel and strawberries. But you don't want to let it get too far in because it can scorch and it will make your jam nasty. Now you can see the foam on it. See how the strawberries are kind of candied. Now this is going to boil and boil. We're going to scrape some more foam off. Okay folks, now it's at the stage. Constant stir, constant stir. Temp's running around 214, 215. We've got a few more minutes and she'll be ready to can. Caitlin is doing a fine job. Now once this hits that stage, you're going to shut the fire off, and then that white foam that's on top, you'll scrape it off. You don't want to do too much scraping in the first part of it. You can get the most of it at the end. We've reached that stage, folks. You can see it's looking like jam. Now when this cools, it is going to be thick. So we're going to shut this off, get the jars out. We'll ladle it into jars. And we'll start canning. Now all that white foam up on there, this is where it all comes off. As soon as it comes off the heat, you can get it scraped over. Can you see how that did? Okay, heat's off. I'm going to pull the jars out of the canner over here. Remember your handy dandy jar grabber. It'd be kind of hot grabbing and reaching in there and getting them jars. Now don't worry if it cools down, because it's gonna. They'll get to where you can handle them with your hands before you get any jam in them. So you just pop them out just like this, line them up off to the side. Then you'll be able to do a assembly line. Quick. So you got all your jars out of here. All sterile. And you take your lids, they just go in the slots, because you got rubber on one side and it's got to be heated for it to make a good seal. And we won't use that one until it's washed. You just drop it down in there and let it set until you're ready to close up your jars. Now the heat's been off a good 10 minutes, and as you can see, there's a little bit of foam on there. You're not going to get it all out. You can do your best. It won't kill it, but you want to get most of it. So now you can go around it, and I'm going to ladle my jars. You want to do this quickly. Now remember, this stuff is like 218 degrees. If it splashes on you, you are gonna know it. You want to fill it 1/4 inch from the top. Move to your next jar. Avoid the foam. You don't want to overfill it. 1/4 inch headspace. Go to the next. Okay, now that we got our jars filled, we're going to pull over the water bath canner full of water. We're going to take our lids and rings out, let them drain, and set them over here. And we're going to pull the jar rack up out of the water. Now you need a wash rag with hot water on it. Hot tap water is fine. Rinse it out. You see where all the jelly spilled on the lids, and you want to take your rag, washcloth, wipe the lid or the top of the jars. I can't even speak. If you don't, they won't seal. Now remember, this stuff's $2.19, probably $2.12 right about now, maybe below it, but it's already starting to gel, as you can see. And they are hot. Very. Get all these so it'll make a good seal when it's canned. The magnets for this, because the lids will be hot, me personally, I don't really use it anymore. And yes, with jams and jellies, you can do this, use different size jars. And the only reason being is your jam's already preserved, right? It's already done. So if you just set it in the fridge, you're good to go. But since we want shelf stable, you get this all set up, and then you do a 10-minute water bath can. Now what that means is when it goes in, you gotta hand tighten those. Remember, those are hot. Now that we got the jars wiped down, sealed, and lidded, we're going to take them like this. We're going to set them in here nice and easy. You don't want that falling. Remember, you're dealing with boiling water, strawberry napalm. That stuff get on you and it's hot, it's over. You're going to be burnt. It's going to blister. Now the different size jars, like I said earlier, you can use your hands to lower this in. I personally don't. I've been burnt. It's no fun. Nice and easy. Now all you need is the water to be over the lid. So I'm going to remove some of this water. Take it down just a little bit. She'll come to a boil faster. You cannot start your 10-minute timer until it is boiling. So we're going to take some of this out, put the lid back on it, and wait to hear it boil. As soon as it starts to boil, you're going to start your 10-minute timer. And what the canner does, it doesn't do anything to preserve the jam per se. What it does, it pushes all the air out of the jar. And then when it seals, you'll hear the ting here in just a few minutes. Now I thought I'd just show you guys. We're boiling, timer's going, and it's just water coming out. It's alright. But look here, you know, I missed a little in the jar. But this is jam and just a little piece of strawberry. Now that's jam. Okay, 10 minutes are up. I've pulled them out of the canner, shut it off. This is what it looks like. I know the recipe says it'll be clear and bright red, but if I would have used all the sugar it called for, it would have. But again, I don't like all that sugar. I let the fruit do most of the work, and as you can see, it is packed with strawberries. Now we'll try to get the ping of the lid sealing for you, which is music to your ears. You know your jar sealed. Okay folks, we're finished with the jam. We got 96 ounces of strawberry jam out of 8 pounds, 9 pounds of strawberries. Here the pop is sealed. I'm gonna butter my toast. We're gonna make you watch us eat it. Well, I guess you could flip off, but you get to see how this jam is still a little warm. You'll get to see how it spreads, how it looks, how it stays together. There you go, look at that. Did you have fun, Kate?
Yep. Now I know how to make strawberry jam.
Alright, don't be hogging all that. Thank you. Now it's still warm, as you can see, that it looks a little runny, but it's not. And I like butter on my toast with jam. And you see the strawberries are in there. That's them clumps. How's it taste?
It's good.
Good? Just good?